everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
And what the hell happened to the video? Let me fix this real quick. I thought it was set. Where is it? Where is my Discord? There we go. Fix, adjust. There we go. The downsides of streaming when you only have one monitor and you don't have the real estate space for a bigger table, let alone two monitors, so you have one strictly for Discord. I envy those types of people, and I envy my old work desk too. Good gracious almighty. Anywho, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 693. We are that podcast talks about games, anime, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
And I am Mako-chan.
Ari is off tonight. He's working mid shift or something like that, but no worries. He will be back next week, and I believe Barry will be joining us too tonight next week as well. So, anywho, Mako-chan, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm freaking tired.
Me, I'm okay. I actually did a little bit of shopping, and don't you hate it when you go food shopping and you make a list, and when you get home, you're just like, crap, I can't believe I forgot to pick this up.
Well, what's even worse is you make the list and then forget the list at home.
See, what I started doing was I go into the Target app and I just start making the list on there because I'm always using the damn Target app, and I'm grateful that even the Walmart app does this, the Home Depot app does this. It knows what store you're in, so if you're looking for something, it tells you where to find it. So, So I can just pull up the Target. Oh, here we go. Grab all of this. So I got everything except for a bag of baby spinach. So I'm like, well, I have a half a sandwich. I'll eat that with my wings for tomorrow for dinner. So there's that. So anyhow, enough about that. Let's get the show on the road, shall we? We are live tonight, week of October 7th, 2025, right here on Twitch TV. We're here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. You can always catch us out at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. We're also proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks Network at VogNetwork.com. And you can always catch them on Twitch as well under Vog Network. So it's twitch.tv/Vog Network. And then come hang out in our Discord, VogNetwork.com/Discord. Every channel that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has their own, every show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has a channel. So come through, hang out, and have a good time. So now that we got that out the way, I am going to kick things over to Mako. And Mako, how was your weekend day? And what cool stuff are you showing off today?
Weekend day, not bad. Just plotting stuff with some friends to meet up. Yeah, plotting some Halloween stuff since I'm doing the trunk or treat over at Mom's Complex again. And then as my screen shows, I ended up getting the Devil May Cry album. It is in what did they call it again? They called it Trigger Black, I think. Devil Trigger Black, yes. Which is just black with white, so once it melts, it looks cool.
Because I was wondering, because the album, the record, the vinyl looks like as if it's been played plenty of times already. So
Yeah, it's supposed to look smoky. It definitely, you see more. The camera's not picking up as much white smokiness as is actually on there. And then I did have to cover up portions of the inside art for, reasons. I don't think they would appreciate a gun to the bunny's head.
Oh my.
Yeah, and you can see the result here. But yeah, so this is my newest Newest collection piece. I can't wait to actually listen to it.
I can't wait for you to set up the record player in the smokers lounge.
It's coming.
Uh,
It's coming.
I mean, I just picture like the record player is in the vestibule there, and then in the smokers lounge, there's a speaker in every corner, like hanging up from the top. That would be really cool.
I don't think it's big enough to put a speaker in every corner.
Well, they make speakers in all types of sizes, so
Yeah, I could. It does have Bluetooth capability, so
yeah,
I could hook it up that way.
yeah. Like I'm talking about like I don't know. Have you seen like the speakers that are on my desk?
Yes, the little ones. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Something like that. Not the typical bookshelf speakers. No, the much smaller ones.
yeah. I still don't think
Okay.
the space needs 4 speakers,
Well, I say four
even
because
if they're tiny.
that's what I'm saying. Because they're tiny. You know, four of them, it'll be really nice. So that was my take. So, but you know,
But yeah, so I'm really excited.
for my
There's
weekend,
some decent music on there.
there you go. I probably think the first time you're probably gonna break out is probably Bush.
Um,
Hmm.
actually, when I was testing it to play to make sure that it worked and everything,
Yeah.
um, I actually ended up playing the Beetlejuice soundtrack.
Ah, still a good choice.
Yeah, yeah. So it has been somewhat christened, and it was christened with a poltergeist demon. So
Seems legit. Seems legit. All right. So my weekend day is pretty good. I can't complain too much. Um, I hung out with Cece Grey Witch over the weekend. I checked out her new place, so I helped her take care of some stuff. So that's all good and dandy. Um, I too also have plans this week. A friend of mine is coming into town. I haven't seen in maybe like a year and a half before they move back out to Indiana. So they're coming in for their birthday. So that's going to be kind of fun. I think that's basically has been the long and short. Also, I did pick up something. I pre-ordered this a while back, and I'm just like, I have got to get my hands on this because I gotta see how this plays out. So, and I have a couple of other crossovers sitting in my quote unquote Amazon cart. So I picked up the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Naruto crossover graphic novel
nice.
because I'm like I have got to see how this plays out, and I really want to see them see how Shikamaru looks. So because the funny thing, because I'm just curious how about this because when I used to be really big into Naruto, my thing is when I watch anime a lot of times, if I see some type of technology or something like that, and I try to pay attention to that so I can kind of figure out it is like a timeline or something like that because they use like walkie talkies and stuff. So, and you do see like power lines and stuff. So I'm thinking, it kind of takes place. I wouldn't say modern time, but something maybe like 1900s or something. I don't know. It's just how things work.
Naruto to me
Yeah.
seems like a Japanese equivalent
Hmm.
to steampunk.
Yeah, I can see that because there is a rail system. So yeah, I can definitely see that.
So they do have certain modern amenities,
Hmm.
but because chakra is actually real,
Hmm.
they never produced anything that wasn't necessary because they have chakra and they have people that are able to use it to do D-rank missions.
Hmm. And speaking of steampunk, I just finished watching this one anime called Princess Principal. It was really good. This was one of those animes where when I sat down and watched it, and I went, I can't believe I slept on this. It's I think it's a 12 episode series, two movies. It's supposed to be a total of five films. The third film came out in Japan already, and I'm just waiting for High Dive to pick up the rights and drop it on their service. It's really good. So and I can tell you that's like, yeah, I can count on one hand how many animes I highly recommend, and that's one of them. So anywho, enough about that. So probably after the show, after I do all the edits, I'm gonna read a bit of this because I realized I have to get up early in the morning and go over to the medical center. And I think this is to find out the results of the sleep apnea test or something like that. So, and I'm just like, you couldn't tell me this over the phone. Anywho, moving right along, let's get some housekeeping notes here going. Podcast VODs, they're available on our YouTube page, youtube.com/AnimeJam session. Most recent since I uploaded weekly, as soon as you hit the site, it's hit the page, it should be right there. If not, just go to podcast and you'll see a complete playlist of episodes available, and the most recent one will be there. Let's see, what else do we have here. Let me bring my notes back up. Our next two conventions, which will probably be our last two of the year. First one is another AnimeCon, AAC, October 17th to the 19th at the Westford Regency Inn in Westford, Massachusetts. We'll be up there hanging out, having a good time. And then DerpyCon, October 31st to November 2nd, New Brunswick Hyatt at New Brunswick, New Jersey. And we will be at that as well, like I said. And I will be I'll be hosting a couple of panels at both conventions. I'll be doing a Twitch Streaming 101 and Japan 101. The Twitch Streaming 101 panel is about the hardware you need to get started to start Twitch streaming. And Japan 101 is basically getting ready. The stuff that you need to do. And once you got that down pat and you're in Japan, where to find the good stuff. So there's that. And on a sad note, and as well as a heartful note, it was announced on Sunday's episode of Orange Lounge Radio. OLR is hitting its final arc. Yeah, OLR is hitting their final arc, meaning the show is coming to an end. They're doing the final episodes now. Final episode will be November 23rd. So I know a lot of y'all who participate with us live and listen to the podcast are also fans of Orange Lounge Radio. So I ask and implore you all to come to the stream on that day and give them a fond farewell and one epic send-off. And yes, I'm already working on a special ending credits for the podcast. So, and I really like how it's coming through in my head. I'm going to start putting it together, and I hope y'all really enjoy it. So, all right, now that we got that out the way, we're going to get into our first story. Mako-chan, why don't you kick things off for us? And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, so the list of piracy sites and all of that stuff was updated, and Hianime is now listed as a priority notorious streaming site. So this was posted on Torrent Freak. It is an update from the Motion Picture Association publishing by the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative for submissions from the public on notorious markets outside of the United States. And among those submissions includes Hianime, and then platforms like MyFlixer and Cuvana. But Hianime is widely considered the world's largest anime piracy site, with monthly views outstripping the likes of Disney Plus in January of this year. Yeah. So obviously, High Anime has had a couple of different names, 0.2, AniWatch.2, um, and has a global ranking of 159 with 244.2 million visits from 17.54 million unique visitors in August
Mm,
of this year. That is crazy.
crazy is an understatement. And
But I I can't fault people for doing it at the same time that I really wish they wouldn't.
no, I know, and you know what? You're right, and I agree with you. Now, as I have said countless times on this show, I am one of those that are like, you know what? I pay for internet. I'm not. Why should I have to pay for streaming service? I would torrent the living crap out of all of my stuff. Now, some of the stuff I would torrent, if I liked it enough, I go out and buy it. Because let's be real, there are some TV shows you swear by that are really good, but out of like maybe more than half those TV shows you swear by, you're only going to watch it once and that's it.
Well,
Unless
I
you're
mean,
unless you're Mako-chan, who's seen Numbers how many times?
well, yeah. I mean, I've watched Numbers 3 or 4
Mm-hmm.
times. I've watched Supernatural probably a dozen times
Mm-hmm.
now. I've watched Elementary
Mm-hmm.
like 2 or 3 times. I've watched Bones like 2 or 3 times. But it's not just that. It's when anime first started streaming legit.
Mm-hmm.
It was one streaming in conventions, which very few conventions now actually have video rooms anymore
Yep.
because oh, you can just, watch it on Crunchyroll. You don't have to watch it here. That's the problem. Um so many of the anime that are coming out now are on so many different sites, and with the streaming site prices going up,
Mm-hmm.
people don't want to have to buy every single streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, people stopped doing regular cable. This is why, because streaming was supposed to be cheaper. It's not, because now everything is split off. All of the companies have their own streaming
Mm-hmm.
sites. So you've got Crunchyroll that has a crap ton of anime, but it doesn't have it all because then you have Disney Plus, which has anime. And right now, technically, Hulu is separate, but they're going to be combined eventually.
Yep.
Um, but not even that. Paramount has its own anime, and
Mm.
Amazon has its
Wait,
own
wait, wait, wait,
anime.
wait. Paramount Plus doesn't have anime.
Well, I consider some of the adult animation that they have on
Mm.
there as
Because
anime,
because Peacock
because
finally
again, it's locked behind a paywall.
yeah, because Peacock finally has some anime on there, and it's through an agreement with Retro Crush. And the shit to me that makes absolutely no sense is that NBC Universal Japan produces anime, and it ends up on other services. Like one of my like I remember watching Call of the Night season 2, which that is a really good. That's also another good series. And I'm watching the end credits. I saw NBC Universal Japan. I'm just like, that should be on Peacock. I've seen some of their titles um on their on Crunchyroll that should be on Peacock. And not for nothing. Yes, I do understand that the Genion titles now fall under Crunchyroll Funimation, but that used to be Universal, and those titles, Tenchi and the Crew should be on Peacock. But that's just me. Again,
Hmm.
it's a licensing thing. I know licensing in Japan and stuff like this is a lot easier than it is here. Case in point, Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Read the wiki on that. Now to go back to what Pod Culture said they're all available via torrent. Now, here's the thing. Your average weeb, they're not going to go download a torrent client, go to whatever site, pull the torrent, download the episode, watch it, and delete it. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to go right to a website and see this series here, episode 1. And if it's not available here, they're going to jump to another server, till there is capacity for them to watch it, because it's all about convenience. So, and that's the thing. You're not really hearing about torrent sites about that stuff really lately, as opposed to regular sites where you can just log right in and just watch it right here where it's kind of available. And I think it's really sad that there are people who are paying for VPN services just to watch anime like that, because they don't want to give to the main streaming sites companies for it, because they want to put the screws to the company. You don't realize that when you do that, you're not just putting the screws to High Dive, Crunchyroll, Funimation, and all of them. You're putting the screws to the mangaka, because if you really think the mangakas make a buttload of money off their titles, they really don't. You're putting the screws to the merch. You're putting the screws to basically everybody that's connected to it. And if you say something, and I've heard people say it doesn't matter, that people in the US that work on don't get yet. They may not get much, but every little bit counts, and it'll just screw everything up. Now, there is a bit of a gray area for that. Pod Culture says that he pays for a VPN so he can use his iPlayer account for Doctor Who. Now, Doctor Who hits BBC, and then maybe a week or so later, I don't know the release date, it hits Disney Plus. I don't know how far in advance, but I get where he's coming from. To me, that ain't piracy, that ain't bootleg. It's because it's available. You can still watch it. I mean, I do the same thing. I mean, since the whole deal with WWE and Peacock is over and they move everything to ESPN, if you're outside of the US, all of the PLEs are on Netflix. So I went out and got a VPN so I can watch the pay-per-views. I'm like, I'm not going to spend $30 a month just to watch something once a month. You know, I'm already paying $30 for something else. So, you know, yeah, it is day in, day. All right, see, there you go. I think, to me, that's not piracy. That's not bootlegging or anything like that, because you're still playing the game. You're just using a different streaming service to watch what you want. And so that leads us into our next story. And I've been hearing complaints about this coming up, and anime fans need to calm their titties. Seriously, you need to calm your tits. And I'll get into that in just a bit. So what it is that people are complaining about Crunchyroll's subtitles. So in case you haven't heard or know, over the last several years, Crunchyroll has become like the platform for anime. It's like, basically, you name a series, 9 times out of 10, it's exclusively on Crunchyroll. Now, during that time, the platform has become embroiled in multiple controversies, and several of these surrounding to its subtitles. From announcing they are experimenting with AI to speed up sub-translations, to being caught using ChatGPT for this very purpose, to dismissing the needs of various groups who require closed captioning and or subtitles in specific languages, Crunchyroll has made a number of missteps that may have soured their reputation among fans. The quality of Crunchyroll's anime subtitles have declined over the past year, and things are about to get much worse. It seems that someone on Reddit discovered that Crunchyroll has downgraded the quality of its subtitles for the fall 2025 anime season. By and large, the platform has removed typesetting from its subtitles, decreasing readability and reducing the quality of the overall viewing experience, seemingly for no other reason than including better presented subtitles is more expensive. That kind of goes back to, well, the dub is $29.99, but the subtitle's $39.99, and the purists will pay the $39.99. Part of what allowed Crunchyroll to rise from its origins as a piracy site into a mainstream streaming platform were the high quality subtitles it came to be known for. Whereas once non-Japanese anime fans were reliant on fan subs for limited accuracy and quality, which could only be found in a relatively small number of languages, Crunchyroll raised the bar with its accurate translations available in abundance of languages and its easily readable, well-presented subtitles and closed captioning. Over the past 2 years, though, Crunchyroll's been losing its way in all these areas, resulting in fans being not happy with the service. Back in 2024, Crunchyroll CEO Rahul Purini announced that the streaming platform will be aiming to implement AI. AI is definitely something we think about a lot in different workflows in the organization. Right now, one of the areas we are focused on is testing is subtitling and our closed captioning, where we go from speech to text. How do we improve and optimize our processes where we can get the subtitles done in various languages across the world faster so that we can launch as close to the Japanese release as possible? So that is definitely an area that we're focused on. AI remains a contentious subject among many. Despite Purini's attempts to put a positive spin on implementing it, there was a significant backlash to his announcement. The primary concerns regarding using AI for the purpose of translating anime and creating subtitles include the loss of jobs that would occur as a result of this change, and potentially for Crunchyroll's subtitles to face a massive drop in quality. Sure enough, when it was found earlier this year that titles such as Necronomicon and the Cosmic Horror Show have poorly been translated via ChatGPT to a laughable degree, the backlash only grew louder, especially as additional evidence was found that other more important anime, including Link Click, One Piece, ReZero, Solo Leveling, and Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury, have potentially been victims of shoddy AI translations. After this was reported, Crunchyroll spokesperson reached out and confirmed that the AI-generated subtitles had been created by a third-party vendor in violation of the agreement made between the two companies, and that they were working to make up for what had happened, but the damage had already been done. If you look back at 2024 once again, Crunchyroll did find itself in hot water as it came under scrutiny for its lack of closed captioning for many of its English dubs. Closed captioning is a necessity for deaf and hearing impaired fans, but according to an anonymous Crunchyroll staffer, this was not a concern for the company. Despite them raising concerns about the subject, they were ignored and dismissed, and with their superiors operating under the belief that adding closed captioning to every series would set a poor precedent and that it was too much work. This issue is further compounded by both the fact that many of the English dubs done by Funimation prior to the merger previously had closed captioning, but no longer do, raising questions about the licensing agreement struck between the two parties and Crunchyroll's increasing tendency to no longer include subtitles at all for certain animes in specific languages. The aforementioned staffer raised concerns about potential failure to meet a legal obligation by not including subtitles for the Spanish dub of Onyx Equinox. They were told that only lawyers should worry about legal concern. Damn. So, I'm not going to finish this. Basically, they're pushing AI towards the front for everything. And that's basically what they're doing. Because AI can do it cheaper and faster. But it won't be accurate. Now, so in case you don't remember or have forgotten, standard AI is in all video games. It's part of the gaming engines. The issue that we have here is generative AI, which is what Crunchyroll is doing. Now, I understand why they're using AI, because they're under the gun and they want to do these simul-dub releases and get everything out. That's part of the reason why they're so popular. Now, Netflix does the same thing. When they 9 times out of 10, when they put a series out, it is available in different languages, whether it's dubbed or subtitled. High Dive, they take a little bit at a time. Whenever they get a new series, it's subtitled first. It's far and few that they do a simuldub. Maybe in a couple of months after or a few weeks after, the dubs will start coming out. A part of me kind of feels Crunchyroll is doing this to really promote the voice actors, because they work hard too. but I don't think this would be the proper way to do it. I do understand the use of AI, but if you're going to do AI and translate it in some whatever language, have somebody who speaks that language go back, watch the episode, and go through the translations. If you're going to do that, you're better off just hiring somebody who can sit there and translate it to make it make sense. Now, on the subject of AI, anime fans have lost their shit because Crunchyroll has switched to a new company for their AI subtitling, and it's an Israeli company. Now, here at Anime Jam Session, we do not discuss politics, short of going out there and rocking the vote. We don't discuss religion, short of believe in what you want to believe. That's it. I understand why the fandom is upset about that, but it's just software. It is not the end of the world. Honestly, I think Crunchyroll that should be done in-house. Go back to the way it was, but they're too busy trying to push it out for crap quality. Crunchyroll needs to understand you can't have everything. I mean, right now for the fall anime 2025 season, everybody knows the number one anime that's everyone's looking forward to is My Hero Academia. It is the final season. That should be the only anime Crunchyroll should be focused on for a simuldub. Everything else should be on the back burner. It should work on a little bit later. If they're going to have like 6-7 titles come out this week, and My Hero Academia is one of them, put your resources on that. Everything else should come second, you know. And that's just the way I look at it. So, thoughts, Mako-chan?
Yeah, I have two.
Mm-hmm.
The first is, I think while the whole AI subtitling thing is screwed up, I think the fact that people aren't able to actually read it is the biggest issue.
Yes.
They're not making it accessible. They're not doing what they should as a company to have as many people as possible be able to enjoy what they're doing. And that's by choice. That is, they're doing it already, but they're allowing it to be done in such a way that it is purposely excluding people because of the way that it's being done. That's my first issue. The second thing is, I don't even remember what I was going to do with the second thing.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
that was the biggest one.
Oh yeah, something else I wanted to mention. I remember, like, when I bought something, a fan sub, the opening and ending sequences would be translated, and depending on who put it out, it was done up in a karaoke style, and I love that. Nowadays, when you watch anime on whatever platform, you don't see the subtitles for the opening and ending themes. Sometimes for subtitle stuff you see it. God forbid you watch the dub of it and they don't translate it. And it's like you see all these signs and stuff in the background. They don't translate that unless you're watching the subtitled version. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. And yes, and when it comes to the subtitles are hard to see, we all remember the god-awful yellow subtitles where sometimes they were hard to read. And High Dive was still doing that up until about 2 years ago. They updated the app. They did more. They make it easier for you to see the subtitles. There is you can mod it to certain colors and styles, makes it easier to read. on the Crunchyroll app, you can tell if it's Team Crunchyroll or Team Funimation that's subtitling it. You know, it's just. And I think a part of this is due to the fact that I think most of the original people that formed Crunchyroll that did all this cool stuff, they're gone. They left. And you have other people coming in who aren't as fans, who aren't as devout, well, not devout, but you get what I'm saying. So I guess in that case, I'll just be waiting 2-3 weeks at a time before I start watching a new series now, just so I can watch it dubbed. Let's see. Let's see what we have in the chat room here at Twitch TV/ Anime Jam Session. Paco just talking about buying Trek many times over for quality and so forth. And I get that. If you're a big fan of it, of a certain series or whatever, get multiple copies. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I have a stack of Ranma when I have VHS tapes. I have practically the entire series on DVD. I have the entire remastered collection on Blu-ray. So, I mean, there is that. So, let's see what else we have here. I think that's it for that. And Bonzo 6 says Funimation, you should be watching. I miss hearing that. Yeah, I kind of miss that too. And, they rebranded to Crunchyroll because evidently that's more of a name brand than Funimation ever was. It's like when Singular merged with AT&T and rebranded as AT&T. So, anywho, kicking it back over to Mako-chan now. Now, who got arrested?
So the Tokyo police arrested Japanese boy band A group member Kieda Richard Kusama this past Saturday on suspicion of indecent exposure. Not surprising. This group was part of the now defunct Johnny and Associates talent agency. Yeah.
Not
So
surprised.
hmm?
Not surprised.
Yeah, so Kusama is slated to star in the second live action film in the Mr. Osomatsu franchise, along with his fellow group members. The film is supposed to open in January on the 9th. Uh, yeah, we know from past experience that there's a good chance that they may do something to demote the length of time he might be in the movie. That's just, how Japan does it. But the streaming service, TVer, announced on the same day that it will suspend the streaming of the group's A group no Q ends A with the A as the group's name. NTV also changed the content of Sunday's episode to the Tetsuwan Dash show because Kusama was slated to appear on that as well. So we'll see what happens to the live action film, whether or not it is released as is. I guess that all depends on what continues on with after the arrest.
Now, I'm looking at the guy's picture, and I'm like, it looks so damn familiar to me. And I say that because, excuse me, when I was in Japan, when I was in Kyoto, I had stopped into Lawson's, to grab something, and I saw like this little pop-up display for a boy band, and I'm looking at it, I'm just like, not trying to play the race card here, but members was a little fair skin. I thought it was kind of cool, and I'm looking at this guy's. I'm just like, it made me think of that. And I'm just like, that would be pretty wild. That was the group they were promoting in the Lawsons at that pop up that I saw. So I'm actually going through my pictures from Japan just so I can find it. And yes, yes, it is. It is that group. Holy shit. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's what that is wild. That is absolutely wild. Mako, I'm going to send you the picture in our group chat, and I'm going to figure out how to post this picture so that others can see it without having to like share my entire like album of my trip to Japan. Hold on here. Here we go. Pop this open real quick, and boom, and close. So y'all saw that for a split second. So let me see if I can download this picture real quick and just figure out a way to share it, which I think I figured out how to do that. Let's put this on the desktop. All right, browser, properties. All right, I have no idea what you mean about the hair thing, Ari. I completely missed it. My apologies. Let's see, and let's see if I can get it to come up. Desktop. All right, okay, and there it is. That's the picture. That is the picture from the Lawsons. For the that is one hell of a coincidence, ain't it, Mako?
Mm-hmm.
That's just I, I'm kind of shocked. I really am. Wow. And the thing is, I took a picture of this so that I could come back to it later and look up the group and listen to their music. Well, guess I'll be doing that. Anywho, let's get to our next story here about Anime Japan. They're teaming with Crunchyroll for a new award. Ooh, ah. So, streaming service Crunchyroll and the Anime Japan event announced last Wednesday, yes, last Wednesday, that they are partnering with the new Creator Awards in Japan. The competition is aimed at nurturing and supporting the discovery of new anime creative talent. The competition is open to students in the field of animation and short films of about 15 minutes or less, which are eligible for entry. The companies will stream the winning entries on domestically in Japan on the Anime Soar and worldwide through Crunchyroll in 200 countries and territories. Participants will be eligible to win one of 7 different awards. The Grand Prix winner will win 1 million yen, and before you go, yeah, Rich, I'm rich. That's about $6,780. And on a side note, when I went to Japan and I had told a coworker, I'm taking $250,000 to Japan to spend money on. And honestly, at the time, that was about $2,000. Anyhow, the Crunchyroll Award winner will win a scholarship of 1 million yen, and the winners of the 4 category awards will win a prize of 300,000 yen, which is about $2,030. Wow, that dollar to yen ratio definitely went up in our favor. And the prizes will be awarded with each in the areas of technical application, direction, character design, and art. The Anime Japan Special Award winner will get a chance to showcase their short film at domestic and international anime conventions. Entries are open until January 31st, 2026. Anime Japan will announce the winners on March 28th of that year. The Anime Japan Executive Committee, representing the 22 anime companies and 1 organization, will act as the judging panel. The submission website is only available in Japanese, which is available now at anime-japan.jp/creator. Next year's Japan event will be held on March 28th to 31st of 2026. And in previous years, the first 2 days are open to the public, and the last two are business days. Anime Japan's 2025 Public Days took place at the Tokyo Big Sight venue on March 22nd to 23rd, which me and CC Gray visited on our way to Diver City. Place is huge. The event had 116 booths, the highest in the event's history. The event had a new white main stage this year for a total of 4 main show stages, running 52 stage panels, along with separate ambassador stage, with the cosplayers world area outside and the family anime festive for children inside. The event expanded its footprint to its highest ever. The event reported 152,400 attendees across 2 public days. That's a 50% increase from the 2024's outing, which itself saw a 32% increase from 2023. This year's number is the highest the event has reported, higher than 2018's number of 152,331. And they reported that 1 in 10 attendees that came this year came from overseas. Kind of cool. And Bob Coffey says, it's around 150 yen to the dollar. If we didn't have tariffs, we'd be in a golden weeb age of importing. Brother, you have no idea. There are 3 Ranma 1/2 acrylic standees that I want and a figure. And I'm just waiting till December to pull the trigger. That way I can get it all at once. I will eat the tariffs if need be. Because when I went to Japan, I think it was 137 yen to the dollar. And earlier this year, it hit 150 yen to the dollar. But I just sat on it. I was like, nope, I'll wait. Get one more. Anywho, not too bad Ari's not here. This story is right up his alley about Tiger Mask.
Yeah, I was gonna say you do that, and I'll do the last one.
Okay, I can do that. That's not a problem.
Since you actually follow wrestling.
To a certain extent, I really need to go back and start following Puro Wrestling and New Japan again like I used to. I just don't have the time, and people are like, oh, you need to watch TNA, you need to watch it. I'm just like, I follow WWE because it's right there. It's right there. Whatever. But anywho, we're going to talk about Tiger Mask. The mask has been found and verified. Japanese variety and antiques appraisal program Kayun Nandemo Kantedan featured on the September 30th show, an original mask worn by professional wrestler and first real-life Tiger Mask, Satoru Sayama. The mask's owner, an avid Tiger Mask fan, stated that the mask was the Osaka Tiger Mask Sayama wore during a meet and greet back on August 9th, 1984. Among the Tiger Mask fans, the Osaka Tiger Mask is known for its only appearance at that said event. After verification by Takashi Izumi, director of professional wrestling memorabilia shop Todokan, the Osaka Tiger Mask was valued at 3 million yen, which translates to $20,397.30. Kayun Nandemo Kantaidan notes that the Osaka Tiger Mask was Sayama's private mask worn in public and at meet and greets. Mask maker Yuji Toyoshima made the mask. Tiger Mask is based on Iki Kajiwara's and Naoka Tsuji's 1968 manga series of the same name, Tiger Mask. The series got 2 earlier adaptations in 1969 and in 1981, 3 films in July of 1970 and March 1971. A revival series premiered on Crunchyroll in October 2016 called Tiger Mask W. The original Tiger Mask is the alter ego of the character Naoto Date, a pro wrestler who goes against an evil wrestling organization and fights for children in an orphanage. Sound familiar? The original manga ran from 1968 to 1971 in Kodansha's Bokura magazine, Weekly Shonen magazine, and other magazines as well. Along with the baseball manga Kyojin no Hoshi, Tiger Mask is considered Kajiwara's life's work. In professional wrestling, Sayama took on the Monkey or Tiger Mask when New Japan Pro Wrestling founder and owner Kanji Inoki, better known as Antonio Inoki, and we all know who he is, approached Kajiwara and bringing the manga character to life. Sayama wrestled as the character between 1981 and 1983. The Tiger Mask character has seen 7 real-life iterations following Sayama's departure from the character. Following his retirement from the Tiger Mask character, Sayama wrestled under the name The Tiger and Super Tiger, hence the Osaka Tiger Mask is not a Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask saw a rise in popularity back in 2010 when an anonymous donation by Tiger Mask's alter ego Naoto Date of over 30,000 yen and backpacks were made to a child guidance center in Maebashi City for children entering elementary school. The following year, several backpacks were donated anonymously using the names of anime, manga, and tokusatsu characters. Now that's really cool. And Bob Coffey says during the Aquars final, it was 143 yen to the dollar, and it was great. Yeah, my friend Shina, she went, so she also had a great time with that. So. And now we talk about Hunter x Hunter. Take it away, Mako.
Yeah, I actually thought that this was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So Bushiroad on Friday revealed that there is a Hunter x Hunter survival roguelike game
Mm.
called Hunter x Hunter Nen Survival. Obviously, it is based on Hunter x Hunter. The game is slated for a worldwide release in 2026 for iOS and Android. The game will be free to play with optional purchases available in game. My guess, characters. So players control characters from the franchise to fight hordes of enemies. Players create parties strategically, and the game features simple controls. Bushiroad states the boss battles will feature gimmicks characteristic of the tense combat of the franchise.
Mm.
So they just finished launching the fighting game worldwide July 17th. So now we are going to be getting a mobile game.
Hopefully the game will end up, the fighting will end up on Game Pass. I could definitely check it out, like I did with Dragon Ball Fighters Z. So Dragon Ball Fighters. So yeah, I didn't put that much time into that game yet.
Yeah, looks like it's gonna be on PlayStation 5, Switch, and Steam only.
Well, shit. Xbox always gets the short end of the stick, and I get it. Which is why I'm glad I have both consoles. But at the same time, I'm just like, I'm not looking to drop that kind of money. I mean, the Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash game is a prime example. That game came out, and within 15 minutes, it got. I think it still holds the record for the highest number of refunds that's on Steam.
Yeah, well, with Xbox's raise in price of their Game Pass because they done fucked up themselves.
Wait, before we get into, let me say this. I looked at the prices and compared to the PlayStation. Unless you have Ultimate, the other tiers are the same price. That's the only thing. Now, the only major benefit Game Pass Ultimate is like PC access. But to me, it is not worth $30 a month to have that. It really isn't.
Well, no, from what they're saying now, the reason why they raised the price is to try and make up for the money that they lost by one of the games they released on Game Pass. Because all of the other consoles, it was not released on their version of Game Pass, and people had to pay for it.
Did not know that.
That's what I'm seeing now in the few things that I've read. Is that there was a game that released on Game Pass, so they did not make the money on the physical copies.
That happens with a lot of games, though. It'll hit Game Pass, it'll make a decent amount of money, but not enough. But there are some games where it does so well on Game Pass that they will put out a physical release for it. Like, I think Sea of Stars is an example of one of those games. It did really well during its run on Game Pass, and I thought it was a really great game. I went out and picked it up for Xbox. So, and that's an RPG I have to get back into. And honestly, if you liked Chrono Trigger, then you're gonna definitely like Sea of Stars. I'll just leave it at that. My issue with Microsoft is this: Microsoft, let the Xbox division cook. You pencil pushers need to step back, focus on other things, and let them cook. Because what you're doing is not helping. Because they're like, well, the software division's doing this. This is, well, it doesn't work all the same. I mean, Sony does the same thing. They let their gaming division do what they have to do. So y'all need to take a lesson from them. Anywho, I've said my piece about that. So let's get to the part of the show that y'all really like and stick around for. Meanwhile, in Japan, and I cannot wait till this is over because I'm wearing one of my long sleeve anime shirts, and the weather was kind of windy out today, so that's why I wore it. But being inside this room, I turned off the AC because I found out that sometimes it picks up noise, but I don't need that, and I forgot to open one of the vents all the way. So I'm just like, it's getting a little warm in here, just a
Yeah, the
skitch.
humidity is rising. We're supposed to have rain for the next couple of days, I think.
Oh, that's gonna do a number on my laundry if it rains tomorrow. So,
Uh, yeah, tomorrow is thunderstorms.
oh, lovely.
This weekend looks like it's going to be really nice, though.
Well, according to us here in Brooklyn, the rain's gonna stop around 2 o'clock, so that's not so bad. I can run out while I'm handling tickets and throw a load in the laundry. It's not so bad. I can do that. Not a big deal. So, anywho, meanwhile in Japan, Mako-chan, you get a player's choice.
I think I'm going to take the first one.
All right. I will take the last story. So,
Okie dokie. Yeah, so, while there might be a romantic appeal to dropping everything and, just taking a break, heading out on a trip, getting some, touching some grass, you may want to make sure that you are wearing clothes when you're doing it.
yeah.
So 27-year-old office worker from Kanagawa Prefecture, located to the south of Tokyo, was asked for what purpose he'd come all the way to Hokkaido and answered, "I came to escape reality." What was odd was that he was completely naked at the time. So on September 30th at about 11:30 a.m., police in Wakanai received a call from someone saying they'd seen a naked man walking beside Route 238, which runs along the coast on the eastern side of town and then around Cape Soya. Officers were dispatched to the scene where they promptly identified the man based on the physical description that they'd been provided, i.e., he was naked. So while the scenery at Cape Soya is absolutely gorgeous, it was the man's presumed intended destination. However, he decided that he didn't want to be clothed while he was doing it. So officers placed the man under arrest for public indecency, and he admitted to the charges. Duh. It is the truth that I was naked on the side of the road. Again, they caught him naked, so I would say, yeah, that is the truth.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Yeah, so while getting naked was ill-advised, at least he had nice weather. Because it was 69.8 degrees Fahrenheit that day. So police are investigating the man's motives, which seems a little odd since he already told them what he was trying to do, even if in the end reality came crashing down on him anyway.
That'll leave a bruise.
Yeah.
Now, our last story of the night, and meanwhile in Japan, we're going to talk about the fact that Japanese banks are irked by people stealing free ATM envelopes and selling them online. It seems like not a week goes by that another unusual thing is found being sold through Japanese online flea market Japanese service Makari. In the past, things like ultrasound photos and curses go up for sale, but those things are at least have some type of value to them. This time, this featured commodity not only violates common business sense, but also the law. There are little envelopes given away next to ATMs so you can slip your cash into are currently being sold. And you probably know what I'm talking about, those little, well, not every ATM has, but they're like if you're doing a deposit, there are these envelopes and you put your money in the envelope, seal it, drop it in, done. Basically those. And what it is, these envelopes are being sold usually in sets of about 150 for around 300 yen, which is $2. However, you'd be lucky to get your hands on some this way because they always seem to be sold out. This is strange for a couple of reasons. First, these envelopes can be gotten for free from most ATMs as a service to people who want to organize their bills or keep them in good condition for use as gifts. Second, on Makari, the shipping is paid by the seller. Assuming one envelope weighs about 1 gram, 150 would weigh about 150 grams, which by Japan rates would cost 270 yen to send. As a result, the seller netted a whopping 30 yen, which is 20 cents, in profit. That's a generous estimate too, because the likely event of a single envelope weighs more than 1 gram, they will be selling at a loss. Next, we have the matter of how these envelopes are acquired in the first place, which presumably involves just walking into a bank, yanking a pile of them off the rack. Japan Post, which also operates as a bank with ATMs, confirmed that there have been cases of large-scale thefts involving their envelopes in the past few years. Meanwhile, many people online have complained that their local banks often run out of envelopes and are now beginning to see why. Netizens have made comments such as, I wonder if something like this was the reason there never seems to be envelopes when I go to the ATM. It's sad to see services disappear because of people with no common sense like this. It seems like you can get a better deal at the 100 yen store. I don't know who's selling and buying these, but it's a sad world we live in. I'm a bank teller. I've actually had people come up to me and ask me for a bundle of envelopes. That's not how it works. If they're provided for free, is it still theft? In past cases involving people taking too many free chopsticks of 12 kilograms of free ice from supermarkets, theft charges were filed. Even though they are offered for free, there is an intended use, such as eating meals bought from the supermarket or keeping frozen food frozen. In both cases of accused theft, the use would be seen to be stockpiling and Lord knows with the ice. Similarly, taking an envelope for the purpose of reselling them was absolutely outside of their intended use and is a clear-cut case of theft. It is conceivable that the buyer of these envelopes is criminally liable. A case could be made that a reasonable person should assume that 150 unused bank envelopes being sold were acquired legally and thus knowing they were accepting stolen goods. It is unlikely legal action will be taken beyond Makari prohibiting the sale of the bank envelopes, though simply because the value is so low. Then again, we have seen police in Japan track a guy who stole some ground beef halfway across the country, so it's not completely out of the question. That must have been some really good ground beef. God. I'm actually looking at the story. I gotta see if there's some type of rate, if there's a meat to fat ratio. No. Anyhow. I'm not surprised by that either. Bonzilla6 says, I wonder what's the going price for a like-new WAMU checkbook. Asking for a friend. I see what you did there, sir. Anywho, I think it's time for us to wrap things up because it ain't getting late, but we have come to the end of the show for the most part.
It is getting late.
Yeah, well, late for you, not for me, but I completely understand. So, if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. Then in turn, will tell another friend, so on and so forth. We're independent podcasters, independent staff writers, and all that good stuff. Podcasters. So if you like what you like, tell the people. If not, still tell them anyway. They'll tell another person, and so on and so forth. This is how we do it. So if you have any questions about the show, please drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. Please visit our website at animejamsession.com. On that website, you will find not just our podcast, you will find cosplay tips and tricks, cosplay interviews, editorials, anime reviews. You'll find convention reports and links to our YouTube and Facebook pages of cosplay and convention coverage. All that at animejamsession.com. And if you can, subscribe to our podcast if you haven't yet already. We are available on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts, and wherever else podcasts are available. And if you can, leave us a 5-star review if you could. We really appreciate that as well. Our social media, Anime Jam Session on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Blue Sky. And to everybody that follows on our socials, thank you so much. We really couldn't do it without y'all. Y'all are awesome. We appreciate you. Now, down below, if you're still here, is our tip jar. And if you click on our links there, we have direct links to our Streamlabs, Stream Elements, and our Ko-Fi. If you want to send us a few bucks, we appreciate that. You can also donate to us by cheering us on with bits. We appreciate that. And also, subscriptions to the channel. You can sub to us. You can give out gift subs. Every little bit counts, and we really appreciate that. So now we're going to go around the room. Last words, Mako-chan.
I am freaking tired.
My last words. While I was on break, I sat down and watched the rest of Masters of the Universe Revolution. 5 more episodes drop next year. And I think I know where they're going with it, but I'll just leave it at that. So anywho, that is it. End of list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Barry will be here. Ari will be here. We're hoping that you'll be here too. So that's it. We're getting out of here. So I'm Ranma.
And I am Mako-chan.
Great fight. Great night. See you next week.
Good night.
Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Perfect. Awesome. That's it. We're getting out of here. See you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!